Hello and welcome to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events. Thank you very much for coming to the blog. I have been a bad blogger. I know I have not done a blog in a long time. August is usually a quiet month, and I'm glad it was a quiet month. Although the end got pretty hot. I've got a lot of things going on outside of work right now. Just good stuff. It's all good. That I'm trying to take care of at home and all that. It's all good stuff, but anyway, it's just gotten me very, very busy. And so we're back to blogging now, and you're going to see more videos and more stuff back on the blog as usual. So I'm sorry for the interruption. Just a lot going on. And like I said, it's all very good. Anyway, let's talk about the pattern here. Weatherbell.com. I'm calling it the pumpkin spice cold front. For some reason, every fall, the new thing now it seems like is the pumpkin spice stuff, from Starbucks. Everybody, the fall air, you got to go get that pumpkin spice. So let's just integrate it into weather. We'll call it the pumpkin spice cold front. It is heading our way. We're using maps from weatherbell.com. We got this hot ridge of high pressures in place. And first of all, I'm backing this up. What you're looking at is what's called 500 millibars. And you have a trough out towards the west. Very cool, which is good, and precipitation out here because you've had wildfires and a bad fire season out here. So there's very good news for them. And then you have out here the ridge. Again, when I say 500 millibars, we're talking about 20,000 feet up into the atmosphere. But we are baking under this, and it's going to continue for the foreseeable future. I'm also going to talk about the winter forecast in just a second, too, from Weather Bell. I can't show it, but I'm going to talk about it. And you will hear more about it. Anyway, so that ridge stays in place. This is Sunday, and it's going to stay hot. It's going to stay humid. We're talking about 95 degrees. But notice how it looks like this trough here starts to translate towards the east. So this ridge begins to break down a little bit next week, and that's going to allow a frontal boundary to get close to Arkansas. The ridge not quite as strong. So maybe by the middle of next week, towards the end of next week, the edge comes off the heat a little bit. This is, we're out to 138 hours, which is on the 9th of September. Doesn't give me a day. I don't even know what day of the week that is. But anyway, you see that trough here. The ridge is starting to go out here towards the west. And what you want it for cool air to occur, you want ridging out here towards the eastern Pacific and western Canada. And lo and behold, let's just jump to 7.5 days out. In fact, let's go to 9 days out. So there we are. This is Saturday, September 12th. Now, if you've been watching me on air, I've been talking about the time period of the 13th through the 16th that I'm watching for a change to some cooler air, which, how long that lasts, we can't tell you, but I do know that there is a change here where the ridge goes up over here, and that taps into the cooler air, and then, you're looking at the jet stream right in here. So troughing, it's going to get cooler. Notice, we had the ridge. This is 9 days out, but right now, you see it's completely different. There's ridging, and then you go 9 days out, and there's troughing over the central United States. Let's go 10 days out. And you can obviously, the ridging here, the troughing here, it's not going to unfold exactly like this, but it does look like we're going to have a frontal boundary come through with the chance for rain, followed by cooler temperatures, of course. And you're looking at a map valid on September 13th. So my time frame was September 13th to the 16th. It may be closer to the 13th. But just know that by the middle of the month, we should get a break from the heat. Will we go back to it? That's a good question. But everybody wants to know about the break in when we're going to have that pumpkin spice cold front. Anyway, weatherbell.com, meteorologist Joe Bastardi. If you know me on the blog, I have tremendous amounts of respect for him with his long-range forecasting ability. I try to stick to the immediate future. This guy does seasonal forecasting. He actually put out a version of his winter forecast last April with weatherbell.com. By the way, if you hear truck noise in the back, that's my son playing with his trucks. But anyway, and then he updated it recently, and I'm going to have more about this later on, but for the winter forecast, we're talking about meteorological winter, December, January, and February. And, of course, you heard the media hype about Godzilla El Nino. Well, yes, there is a very strong El Nino occurring, but that's not the only thing that's going on. What he's forecasting is because of a warm area of, not warm, but sea surface temperature anomalies that are positive here, warmer than average water. It may promote ridging, and then you get a subtropical jet. So you would get ridging, which would take, you see that right now, but ridging up towards the western United States and up into western Canada. and that would dislodge cold air and move it towards the south. So he's got a large area for those 3 months of meteorological winter. He's got a large area right here where the temperature is going to be about 3 degrees below the average. I'd say it's right in this area. It does include a lot of Arkansas. So when you look at those 3 months, he's saying it's going to be up to about 3 degrees below the average. You can hear my son playing with the stuff. And then as far as snowfall is concerned, in the same area where you can get those storm systems and where the cold air intersects in this area as well, you're talking about snowfall, including Arkansas, about 150 to 200% of average. What in the world is that? Watching the game? That was another, sorry, that was another browser I had open on my computer. But anyway, so he's got it around a 150 to 200% of average. And so, you know, that sounds like it's going to be a cold and snowy winter. And yeah, I mean, that would be above average snowfall. But what you have to remember is the fact that we receive 3.5 inches on average a year. So if you get 150 to 200% of normal, you know, you're talking at most 7 inches of snow. We can get that in one afternoon, in one day at the end of February. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. I mean, not take it with a grain of salt. He's a very good forecaster, but I'm just saying you can verify your forecast within 5 hours around here because our average snowfall is on the low end. But he is calling for a winter that is going to be snowier than average and colder than average. So, and I'm going to have more about that here on the Arkansas Weather Blog. But anyway, first things first, the pumpkin spice cold front. Y'all have a great day, and thanks again for coming to the Arkansas Weather Blog.